We're going to have Gaza. We don't have to buy. There's nothing to buy. We will have Gaza.
What is that?
No reason to buy. There is nothing to buy. It's Gaza. It's a war-torn area. We're going to take it.
You know, the most infuriating thing about Donald Trump is that he makes inflammatory statements to dominate the news cycle, and then all we do is talk about him, obliging him in what he wants. It is reprehensible for anybody to suggest that people should be forcibly removed from their homeland.
As Trump continues to make waves amidst the international community with his remarks, and by waves I mean finding new ways to attack our allies.
Well, Canada's been very abusive of the United States for many years. They don't allow our banks. Did you know that? Canada does not allow banks to go in. If you think about it, that's pretty amazing. If we have a U.S. bank, they don't allow them to go in. Canada's been very tough on oil, on energy. They don't allow our farm products in, essentially. They don't allow a lot of things in, and we allow everything to come in. It's been a one-way street. We subsidize Canada by the tune of about $200 billion a year. And for what? What do we get out of it? We don't get anything out of it. I love the people of Canada. I disagree with the leadership of Canada. And something's going to happen there. But if they want to play the game, I don't mind. We can play the game all they want. Mexico, we've had very good talks with them. And this is retaliatory. This is retaliatory to a certain extent.
Propose Mar-a-Lago Gaza addition as his solution to one of the most brutal and deadly conflicts in modern history, and sympathize with authoritarians regarding the Ukraine-Russia conflict. And yes, this is him saying that Ukraine shouldn't be equal parts negotiators in this conflict. Because who could have seen that coming?
Do you view Ukraine as an equal member of this peace process?
It's an interesting question. I think they have to make peace. Their people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace.
Do you see any future in which Ukraine returns to its pre-2014 borders?
Well, I think Pete said today that that's unlikely, right? It certainly would seem to be unlikely. They took a lot of land, and they fought for that land, and they lost a lot of soldiers, but it would just seem to me, and I'm not making an opinion on it, but I've read a lot on it, and a lot of people think that that's unlikely.
And also, wasn't it supposed to be resolved already? Because we're long past day one.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. It will be settled quickly.
Mr. President, when you're back here in Davos next year, will there be then a peace agreement with Ukraine and Russia by then?
Well, you're going to have to ask Russia. Ukraine is ready to make a deal. Just so you understand, this is a war that should have never started. If I were president, it would never have started.
However, where I tend to disagree and have vocalized in the past is how we cover Donald Trump. Ignoring it just doesn't work, clearly, but poking holes in the fallacy in calling to attention just how egregious his suggestions are, and in turn how they're perceived outside of the United States, I think helps identify not only the salaciousness of his comments, particularly regarding Gaza, but how unpopular they are, despite him believing to the contrary.
Today, humanitarian situation. So, we have the ceasefire, we have to preserve it, we have to restore humanitarian operations, and we have to save maximum number of people. But now, the right answer is not a real estate operation. This is a political operation. Just because this is not a free land, this is a place where 2 million people live and want to live. And just because international rights and a lot of treaties and agreements we negotiated, and even the US, did recognize this right. So you cannot say to 2 million people, okay, now, guess what? You will move. The whole story of humanity is made of tiny part of places where even less than 2 million people were ready to go till the end because they wanted just to stay. So I think we have to stick to our principles. Sometimes in this world, you have the feeling to be so old-fashioned when you speak about principles. But I will tell you, this is humanity. And the civilization is a process. And the process of the civilization is that you learn generation after generation. And this is how you improve yourself. And we did learn that you can get rid of people and just push them out of their place when they have a legitimate right to live in their place, being recognized by everybody. So I think we have to respect the willingness of Palestinian people to have a state, and we have to respect Jordan, Egypt, these sovereign countries, because they want their security, they want to keep their borders.
Just as he strategically tweets about Taylor Swift to help cover up Monday morning news on the soaring price of goods.
Egg prices are soaring. Last week, the average wholesale price for large white shell eggs reached $8 for a dozen. This is wholesale. Retail, it's higher than this. The previous all-time wholesale price was $5.46 back in December 2022. How much are eggs retail right now?
Right now, probably $11, $12, $13, $14. Which ones you want? Brown eggs, you want free-range eggs, etc., etc. But they're in the low teens right now.
I've never seen anything like that.
Well,
$14 for a dozen eggs.
They're killing the chickens.
Yeah.
And
because of bird flu, right?
Because of bird flu. Now, let's ask the $64 trillion question. Is this another COVID crisis to greet President Trump?
Wow.
And we don't know that.
I'm getting anxiety already.
Ignoring it altogether doesn't help bring that news story to the front page, especially when he has so many social media platforms and news media companies bending the knee to his will. We have to, in a way, sort of Trojan horse the fact that he is making life even more unaffordable for Americans to help pierce the white noise, which is why I have a lot of respect for world leaders who use their platforms to send a clear message that they're not willing to sit idly by and will speak out against the American leader.
When you see Trump with Putin, as I have on a few occasions, he's like the 12-year-old boy that goes to high school and meets the captain of the football team. My hero. It is really creepy. It's really creepy. Now,
And that struck you at the time.
Oh, absolutely. It struck everybody. It was like when you could touch it. It was the creepiness was palpable.
Are you trying to say they're having a bromance?
No, I'm not saying, I'm just telling you what I saw. Regrettably, the Republican Party under Donald Trump, and particularly the right wing of the Republican Party, are very sympathetic to Vladimir Putin. I mean, I've been with Trump and Putin. Trump is in awe of Putin. Tyrants are often popular. You see, the key to democracy, liberal democracy, is that it empowers the majority, but it also, through the rule of law, constrains the majority. And if you get to the point where anybody who can muster a majority, and I don't think Trump can do that, by the way, but anyone who can muster a majority is given absolute power and then can do whatever they like to the minority, that's not a democracy. That is a tyranny. That is an autocracy. Even if it's got the support of 51% of the population, that is not what makes a democracy. A democracy, as we understand it, is one where the rule of law protects all citizens and the rule of law applies to all citizens, whether they're the president or the prime minister or an ordinary, elector.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com. Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.